The housing market is, well, it's kind of nuts right now. So you'd think the big players would be feeling the pain, right? Well, what if I told you one of them, Realtor.com, isn't just surviving, it's having a breakout moment? We're going to unpack the really smart strategy behind their surprising success. I mean, if you've tried to buy or sell a house lately, you know exactly what I'm talking about. High interest rates have really put the brakes on for a lot of people, and the crazy inventory levels have turned the whole thing into a roller coaster. It's just a tough environment for pretty much everyone involved. Which brings us to the big question. In the middle of all this chaos, how is a giant like Realtor.com posting such impressive growth? And the answer isn't what you might think. It's not about crushing the competition. It's about something much, much smarter. Okay, so to really get what Realtor.com is doing, we've got to zoom out for a second and look at its parent company, the media behemoth News Corp. Their recent performance really sets the stage for this whole story. So, just how strong of a quarter are we talking about? Well, News Corp pulled in a whopping $2.36 billion in total revenue. That's a massive figure that tells you the company as a whole is in really good shape. And get this, that's not just a big number in a vacuum. It's actually a 6% jump from the same time last year. So the parent company isn't just holding steady, it's growing at a really solid clip. All right, so the whole company is doing well. But if you dig into their earnings report, there was one part of the business that was the real star of the show, the true bright spot. You got to remember, News Corp is this massive company with its hands in a lot of different pots. We're talking Dow Jones, their huge book publishing division, and, of course, digital real estate. Each one is a major part of their business. But this quarter, the company made it super clear. Digital real estate, yep, that's where Realtor.com lives, was a massive reason for that overall 6% growth. It really carried the team. Okay, so let's pop the hood and look at the actual numbers for Move Inc., the company that runs Realtor.com. This is where the story gets really compelling. For the quarter, they brought in $143 million in revenue. And yeah, that's a solid number, but it's the growth behind that number that's the real story here. That's a 10% increase year over year. Now think about that for a second. In a market where a lot of companies are just trying to tread water, double-digit growth, that's huge. Absolutely huge. And check this out. Here's a clue as to why they're growing so much. Their lead volume shot up by 13%. That means more people are actually using the platform to connect with agents. They're not just browsing, they're engaged and ready to make a move. So what's fueling all this? Well, it's not just one magic bullet. They're firing on all cylinders, selling more premium products to agents and seeing big growth in their offerings for sellers, for new construction, and even for rentals. It's a really diversified game plan, and it is clearly working. But here's the thing. This isn't just a story about a good quarter. It's about a bigger vision for the future, a strategy that's, well, it's pretty different from what everyone else is doing. They're betting big on collaboration. Okay, quick sidebar for anyone who's not deep in the real estate world, you're going to hear the term MLS a lot. It stands for Multiple Listing Service, and it's basically the private database that's the lifeblood of the industry. It's how agents share info on properties with each other. Right, so here's the brilliant part of their new strategy, called Realtor.com Plus. Instead of fighting against the MLS, they built a new home search tool that plugs right into it. And, this is key, it makes sure the agents and the brokerage's own branding is still front and center. It's a partnership, not a takeover. And this quote from their CEO, Damian Eales, really says it all. He's not talking about disruption. He's talking about focusing on customers and respecting the integrity of the industry. That's a totally different mindset, right? It's all about integration. So what are we supposed to make of all this? Let's zoom back out and figure out the big takeaway from what Realtor.com is pulling off. What does it mean for the housing industry? This could actually signal a major shift in how the whole real estate tech world operates. For years, the name of the game was to compete directly, to try and steal the audience. Realtor.com is basically saying, hey, maybe the future is about deep industry collaboration instead. And that's really the crucial point here. This whole story proves that even when the market is tough, you can still find serious growth. The secret sauce, it seems, isn't just about blowing things up. It's about building value through smart partnerships. So that leaves us with this really interesting question to chew on, right? As we move forward, is the future of real estate going to belong to the companies that try to replace old guard or the ones that figure out innovative ways to empower and collaborate with them? Something to think about.